Hello everyone, welcome. We are talking today about how naps and night sleep are connected when you're trying to fix one or the other. And I'm Jenni June. I'm a certified child and family sleep consultant and lactation counselor, pre and postnatal stress management coach, and I'm also a mother of 4 grown children now and a mother of grandmother of a 1-year-old grandchild. I've been doing this a long time, working in Los Angeles in my private practice as a certified sleep trainer, sleep consultant, and also as a collaborative provider for the Breathe Institute in Los Angeles, and a member of the National Sleep Foundation for many years. Hi, Hanny. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you all for joining me. I know that we are just on the on the grieving end right now of what's happened in Florida with the mass shooting that happened yesterday with so much loss. And there just are no words that we could possibly say to these poor grieving families and loved ones and victims of this shooting. But my heart and my prayers go out to all of you. And I encourage all of us to just continue praying, continue sending those vehicles of support in any way possible to these families for as long as we possibly can, and never forget. With that said, we'll get back on topic, but we are going to approach naps and night sleep at the same time when we want to sleep train, and I'm going to tell you why this is important. Big truth bomb. If you think that you only have one problem, well, for instance, you think naps are just fine, but night sleep is a problem, or vice versa, you have issues with, naps and night sleep seems to be just fine, or you're satisfied with that. You really do have a problem with both. And I get these questions all the time. Families call me and they're like, well, Jenni, I just really want your help in working with naps. Night sleep is fine. It's just those naps, I can't get them to come together. I can't get them to lengthen and stretch. I can't get my child to even take one. We have to do all this work and jumping through hoops in order for it to come together. We just really, want to focus on naps or, night sleep. And I have to say that, we've got to really kind of clear the table, look at every single thing that's going on in this child's day and night. We have to really be holistic in that sense in the approach of how to improve sleep. And that means we've got to really look under every stone. We gotta look at everything, even nutrition and the eating habits, and are they getting enough playtime and exercise with those budding gross motor development skills, which can help prevent certain sleep regressions. So we have to look at everything, and sometimes the things that are looking good, maybe if your naps are great and night sleep sucks, initially, when we put everything together, when we look at everything, we pull it out of the socket, we recalibrate, we plug it back in so that everything is connected and supporting the next thing in this change, in this habit loop change or the sleep hygiene change. At first, the things that look good are going to look a little crazy, look a little messy, and things have to get a little bit worse before they get better. So, when we go to really improve sleep, we don't want to just slap Band-Aids on things. We really want to get to the root of the problem. And so, with that said, there are 2 ways that sleep training should be approached. We have apps, and this is, signature to the way that I work and have always worked for, in my practice. It's not just behavioral sleep training methods. It's not just the behavioral component to sleep, although that is a component. But the foundation to all well sleep, and including how we change habits that are behavioral with sleep, we have to go straight to the foundation, which is the sleep science. My trademark 4 pillars of sleep hygiene absolutely thoroughly address this before we make any sort of decision about what kind of behavioral changes we're going to make. And oftentimes the sleep science, my 4 pillars of sleep hygiene, does such incredible work that parents realize they don't really have to make any behavioral changes or do a behavioral sleep training method at all. That's the beauty of having the right foundation and really going to the core, the root of the problem, looking at everything, uncovering every possibility of why your child is struggling with a certain component of their sleep. And we really have to approach it all. Okay, So the sleep science that needs, that we need to look at between night sleep and day sleep, because it can be different sometimes, is the sleep environment. That's the first pillar of sleep hygiene, and all the details, the very important details that go along with that. Then the sleep cues. There's going to be different kinds of cues you need to be looking for at different times in the sleep training process, that 21-day habit forming process between day sleep and night sleep. So, if we're going to be fixing one or the other, we have to look at both of those things in both areas. Also, those pre-sleep routines, inconsistency from parents with the behavioral component between day sleep and night sleep can really make a big difference. And of course, the garbage truck is right outside my window. I'm sorry, it's live, you know what I mean? So there's all kinds of noises. But then the timing also, that fourth pillar of sleep hygiene, that is key. And boy, there is a different approach in how we look at timing for night sleep than how we look at timing for day sleep. And so we have to look at both of those in order to make sure that they're working together and supporting, the sleep goals and improving sleep health and safety for your child and the quality of their sleep. All right, so the other thing is that usually there's different sleep crutches that are in play. Not all the time, but usually I notice that there's a different set of sleep crutches used in different ways at different times between day sleep and night sleep. So again, when we go to improve one or the other, we have to look at the consistency or inconsistency of those things, and identify what they are and understand how one thing affects the other, and eliminate those from entirely. And understanding why we need to do that, and in a way that's going to support the child emotionally and improve the ability for the brain and body to want to do the sleeping when we do go to make those changes to the behavioral side. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. Whenever somebody is talking about how we want to look at improving just naps, or they want to address night sleep first, push the pause button there and think twice. Because we really want to make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to set a child up for success. And we do absolutely need to look at everything and rethink everything. And we have got to allow it to get a little bit messy before it gets better. That's the nature of change in every single area of our lives, not just sleep. We have to be willing to do the hard things, to really embrace the challenges and the difficulty and the struggle that come initially when we step outside of our poor cycles, our unhealthy behaviors, or just, maybe areas we need to tighten up and improve, on a logistic level in order to experience the success. All right, guys. Now, I think I have somebody asking me a question. I think Kelly's with us today. Hi, Kelly. All right, let's see what we have here. All night open bar. LOL, that's what my son's bedtime sleep crutch was. Absolutely, girl. Yeah, you stole my favorite line. That all night open bar is a huge, problem. That sleep crutch, where we've got the child in the bed with us all night long, just letting them, use this like a, like a human pacifier, or, all night open bar. That is a huge sleep crutch. And, if we've got that going on at night, and yet we're not doing the same thing during the daytime, that's a great example of the inconsistencies that happen, with some of the pre-sleep routines and sleep crutches between night sleep and day sleep. And a good example of why we need to look at both, because we don't often have the all-night open bar going or the all-day open bar going for naps as we do at nighttime. And it's confusing to the child, and that confusion is going to buy frustration and tears. So we really want to be consistent with how we, are approaching night sleep and day sleep. We want to make sure actually that it's going to be conducive to sleep, that it's going to be, something that really goes to the root of the problem instead of slapping a Band-Aid on it in the moment because we're so stinking sleep deprived ourselves that we'll do anything just to get our child to go back to sleep so we can get back to sleep, right? So we really want to, to look at that. Thank you so much, Kelly, for mentioning them. Very common sleep crutch, and girl, you're not alone. And with that said, you guys, I am practicing here in Los Angeles, but I do Skype and phone sessions with families all over the world, and I'm happy to work with you on your child or your baby's sleep issues. You can go to my website, JenniJune.com, and find a lot of helpful videos in baby care that I did for YouTube with the Baby League Network. Those are wonderful tips and just kind of practical little 3-4 minute videos to get you through how to care for baby in the first 12 months of life. And also some terrific videos about sleep and blogs, great blogs, solid tips. You will get some good takeaway there on my blog page on my website, jennijune.com. And just spell Jenny with an I and June as in the month, and there you go. All right, and make sure you email me through the portal on my website if you'd like to have some help for yourselves, for your baby, your toddler, your older school-age child, or your teenager, or yourselves. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'll be here next Thursday, and we're going to dive deeper into naps next Thursday. We're going to talk about wake windows versus time frames on the clock for naps, and the philosophy behind the two, and really which is the best way to go with approaching those naps. All right, so join me here next week, 1 o'clock Pacific time. We'll see you soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.